What's going on, everybody? It's Key Time Sports coming back with another one to talk about college football week 0. College football is back, and we have a lot to unravel of what has happened over the last 4 to 5 months. Now, our first game that we are going to be talking about is the number 10 Florida State Seminoles versus Georgia Tech. Now, this game is broadcast over in Dublin, Ireland. So, this is a first for me covering a international college football game. So, this is a great milestone for me. This is something that I have been wanting to do since I started watching college football. Now, I am going to show you some of the stats from the Seminoles and the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. Now, last year, everybody knows that the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets came on strong at the end of the year. Now, I am going to show you the Florida State Seminoles offensive stats. Now, we already know last year they averaged 34 points per game, total points 478, 60 total touchdowns, and they were one of the best first down teams in the country. Now, since they have lost subtraction of Jordan Travis, he went to the NFL. Now they have DJ Ugalele. So now we already know what we are going to expect from DJ Ugalele. He's a 3,000 yard passer. He did that multiple times at Oregon State, and he did it at Clemson after Trevor Lawrence went to the NFL. So we know that DJ Ugalele is a consistent quarterback. But from what I see is I think that the Seminoles, they are going to go back to ground and pound, getting the run game. Because last year, they threw the ball more than they ran the ball. And with Mike Norvell, now credit, he's a good coach. He has brought Florida State back to a powerhouse. Before he came to Florida State was just a bottom of the barrel or a decent team, as I like to say. But Florida State now is a powerhouse. Can they make it to the college football playoff? It remains to be seen. I just want to focus on this game right now. Now, we already know that when it comes to their defense, they lost 5 players on their defense to the NFL. Most of their returning starters on defense, it's only about 25 to about 30% of their starting defensive players who did not go to the NFL are coming back. You have a new running back. You have a new offensive line. You still got the same offensive coordinator, same defensive coordinator, head coach Mike Norvell. I saw him running this morning. He's feeling loose. He's happy that college football is back. And Florida State, they are just the better team when it comes to playing against Georgia Tech. Now, I am going to show you some statistics with the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. I said earlier on that they came on strong late last season, and they did. Points per game, they averaged 31 points per game last year on the offense. Defense gave up 28-29. So that's why they had a average record. If you give up as many points as you put up, you gonna run in trouble somewhere. And I believe that the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, they are going to run into trouble playing against the Seminoles, because I believe that the Seminoles, they are going to get up on Georgia Tech, have a lead of 10 or 14 points. Then the Seminoles defense is going to get their mojo going, and then Georgia Tech, they are going to have to throw the ball more than run the ball, because Georgia Tech, they are an average team. They've been an average team for the last 4 years. But now with this coach that they have the possibility of playing the upset role. Now, do I think Florida State is going to get upset in Dublin, Ireland tomorrow? I don't think so. I think that the Florida State Seminoles will coast through this game. As of right now, they are a 10.5 point favorite. Please place your bets accordingly, and let's bet responsibly this year. There was quite a few times last year where I found out that some people lost their house, lost their cars off of sports betting. So to all my audience out there, please bet responsibly. Take care of your business first, and then if you have a little money to play around with here and there, then bet. But take care of your business first. I have Florida State winning this game, and it will be by at least 10 points or more. I'm not expecting a blowout, but if Georgia Tech turns the ball over 2 or 3 times, like I think that Georgia Tech is going to do, I believe that this will be a 20-point to 30-point win for the Florida State Seminoles. Now, I'm not saying that Florida State is going to blow them out, but I wouldn't be surprised if that happened, and I wouldn't be surprised if Georgia Tech upsets Florida State, but there is no upset happening here, because Florida State has the better team. They have the better players. They even have the better kicker, because FSU's kicker was one of the most efficient kickers in all of college football last year. And Georgia Tech's, their kicker was just average. So that's all I got for the first game of the 2024 college football season. And now I am going to go on to the next game on the schedule, which is SMU and the Nevada Wolfpack. Now, with this game, SMU, 85% of their starters are returning, and the defense, 45% of the defensive starters for SMU is returning. So last season, we noticed that SMU, they had a good offense and just an average defense. Now, team statistics, they averaged 38.3 points per game. They had 68 total touchdowns. SMU was one of the most efficient offenses in college football last year. So now, I'm going to tell you the defensive side of the ball. The defensive side of the ball was bad to average. Just like I said, how they averaged 38 points a game. Well, they allowed 29 to 30 points per game every game. That's why most of their games were close, because you had a good offense but a bad defense. Now, SMU this season, they are projected to be one of the top offenses in all of college football. And do I think that they can beat the Nevada Wolfpack? Yes. And I'm going to tell you, the Nevada Wolfpack, their offense was one of the worst in all of college football. And I'm going to show you. They averaged 17.3 points per game last season. Only 23 total touchdowns. And as far as their third down offense, one of the worst in college football. And Nevada Wolfpack, they are projected to be one of the worst offenses in college football coming into this season. So, when it comes to this game, As of right now, the SMU Mustangs are a 25-point favorite in this game, and I think that SMU will coast to a blowout victory because when it comes to the Nevada State Wolfpack, they're not going to be able to sustain drives, and their third down offense is completely terrible. They're just a run of the mule. They're just a run of the mule tune up game for the SMU Mustangs. So I believe I picked SMU to win this game. I also placed a bet on SMU to win this game. So that's how confident I am in this game. So I expect SMU to blow them out by at least 30 points, if not more. So that's all I have for the SMU and Nevada game. Now, the next game I want to talk about is the Delaware State Hornets and the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors. Now, Delaware State, that's another team. They only averaged 18 points last season on the offensive side, and they gave up 25 points on the defensive side. So most of their games last year, even though that they were close, they had a bad offense, and they are going to have a bad offense this season coming along, because you see the statistics when it comes to the Delaware State Hornets: 18 points per game, 25 total touchdowns, third down offense, one of the worst in college football, and fourth down offense, 7 out of 16, and one of the worst in college football. Now, projections. This is supposed to be a close game. The Hawaii Rainbow Warriors are favored by 13.5 in this game. Now, do I think that Delaware State is going to lose this game? Yes. Do I think Delaware State is going to lose every game on their schedule? No, I don't think so. But they are underdog in all of their games this year, and I know that for a fact. So, Delaware State Hornets, run of the mule team, not going to do much, not going to see too much improvement this year. As far as the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors, their team last year, average scoring team, 21.5 points per game, 34 total touchdowns, third down offense, one of the worst in college football, just like Delaware State. Also fourth down offense, average, 16 out of 32 when it comes to fourth down efficiency. Now, as far as this game, who do I have? I have the Ohio State Rainbow Warriors winning this game because they have a better quarterback, the better rushing game, and they also have the better defense. Now, I didn't mention last season, even though they lost a couple of close games, they averaged 22 points allowed on the defensive side. So in every game was a toss-up for Hawaii. And Hawaii, they had a chance at getting a bowl game last year, which they did, and they got blown out in their bowl game last year. So I expect Hawaii to come out and win this game, and it's going to be a nip and tuck game throughout. But one thing I expect to see a good game throughout throughout this college football weekend. The first weekend of college football, I expect to see nothing but good games. Now, the last game I'm going to talk to before I make my final predictions and finish up this show is the Montana State Bobcats versus the New Mexico Lobos. Now, Montana State, their offense last year averaged 40 points per game, and their defense allowed almost 30 points per game. So you have a give and take. You have a top-notch offense and an average to decent defense. Now, you see the stats right here. When it comes to total touchdowns, 65 touchdowns. Also, third down offense, 55 out of a possible 123 occasions where they were in third down, they failed to convert on third down. And plus, when it comes to fourth down offense, 8 out of 15, they were over 50%. So when you look at Montana, most of their team from last year is returning. 65% of the starters from last year are returning for Montana State. And for the New Mexico Lobos last season, they had a pretty good offense, averaging 27.3 points per game. You look at total touchdowns, 43. Then you look at the third down offense. They were near the worst in college football. Fourth down offense, they were more efficient on fourth down than they were on third down. 19 of 14, 64%. And also, when you look at rushing yards, total plays, total offense, and average kick returns, they are one of the worst in college football. Now, I am going to make my predictions with all of these games right now. The first one, Florida State and Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech is going to win that game. Excuse me. No, not Georgia Tech. Florida State is going to win that game. Like I said earlier, Florida State has the better team, has the better quarterback, the better running back, and their defense is more stout than Georgia Tech's offense. Now, as far as the next game, SMU Mustangs versus the Nevada Wolfpack, I got SMU winning that game by at least 20 points. Now, the next game I have, the game that I was just talking about a few minutes ago, the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors versus the Delaware State Hornets. I got Hawaii winning that game because Hawaii, they have more returning starters on defense and offense than the Delaware State Hornets have. And for this game, the final game for week 0, I have the Montana State Bobcats winning this game by at least 15, if not 20 points. Now, they are projecting this game to be a close game. The odds on it right now and the point spread is 2.5. I'm expecting not a blowout, but for Montana State to have a firm grip on this game come late fourth quarter, and I expect the Montana State Bobcats to get their first win of the 2024 college football season. And with that, those are my predictions and outcomes for week 0 of the college football 2024 season. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, click the notification bell to get notified of all of my reaction videos, content, and community posts. Also, go follow my other sports show, Key City Sports, on TikTok. And one last thing, always remember the key is always on time.